Yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho, yo ho, you know. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Soul. This is not the morning show. Well, I guess in a certain time zone, maybe it's the morning. Maybe over in Europe, it's the morning. So it's the morning somewhere. Hi, everyone. I'm going to be doing a full reaction of this new cinematic that I've seen called entitled, I believe, Old Soldier. It came up right when I started rating, and I forced myself to not watch it. So I know nothing about this. This is going to be a super fresh reaction. This is it. And I don't know, and I want to thank everyone up above me for sticking around and otherwise hanging out with me. I may not be as responsive to chat as I'd like to be, but this is going to be mostly something for to share with everyone. I'm going to do a full watch of the cinematic from start to finish. I'm not going to say anything, and then we're just going to start going through it. I'm going to do my initial reactions and all that stuff, and then I'm going to analyze and stuff like that. But just real quick, what's up, Crucial? Very cool to see you around. What's up to Jay, nephew over there, and to everyone else who's sticking around, like I said, and joining me today. Let me change the title for this really quick. Old Soldier Cinematic Reaction Live. Let's do this. Woo! Exclamation points. Okay, cool. So anyway, hello to everyone once again, and let me make this bigger for me. Oh, that's too big. It's making like everything bigger. I don't want it to do that. I'm like screwing everything up. Uh-oh. Oh well. Whatever. Fuck it, I'll just play it. So no offense, but you can't wait to see Taliesin's and Nevatel's analysis of this. It's all good, dude. I say look at everyone's. So that's that's what it is for real. So anyway, let's do this. Who was that? Oh, this is right before the fight. Holy shit. It's like the good cinematics.
Lord Saurfang.
Very somber.
How many do you think?
Too many.
Oh, that was good.
There is no honor in this. They will come for us now. All of them!
Yep, they did. And there's Brill. Oh, poor Brill.
My father, Hikazi. He fought with you in the Third War. He told me stories. How you could cut down 10 enemies with a single blow. This be my first battle. What should I do?
Don't die.
Yes, of course. But if I do fall, may it be with honor in glorious color.
There will be no glory today. Only pain.
that's his boy.
You have earned your warrior's death, my son. Yet once again, I am denied it.
What are you doing?
Claiming what is mine.
And what is yours, sir? Dude, he's following Saurfang like he got food in his pocket. What the fuck?
I said go back! Live another day. Go back to your father.
I can't. He's dead. The Horde. It's all we have.
So, you know me. Is that it? What I've seen? What I've done? Oh, give up, boy.
Like you?
What's that? Reverie?
Live another day.
Without honor.
Of course it's gonna roar. So my first thing is, who is this kid? Like, all right, let me look up what is going up with this kid. So let's see, content. Cinematic. Let me get that thing open. All right, so where is this kid? Where is he? Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Come on, where is he? No. No. Almost. Who is that kid? Who is that man? I passed him. Well, I'm wondering if I'm not. I know who that is. I'm wondering about this guy. I'm looking for the one who died. So it's not this guy. That's not him. Wow, you guys are so fast. Here we go. So that looks like him. Yeah, I think that is, huh? Now I gotta screenshot it and open up Photoshop and get all this stuff prepared. Sorry, folks, because I'm like trying to prepare some other stuff too. All right, so there's that shot of him. All right. Does it make me feel like I'm not participating very well if I don't have a really good grasp of who Zappy Boy is, aside from a meme? All right, let me open this. Open this thing back up. Oh wait, where'd it go? Shit. Downloads. There we go. All right. So now. Yep. There's no denying that. Yep, that's definitely him. So anyway, that's kind of cute. Let's see. I lost all credibility now. Anyway, here I guess we'll go ahead and start the analysis now. I mean overall this is it's very somber. This gives us a really good impression of what's been going on in Saurfang's head, maybe for a while now. I guess ever since I suppose ever since the death of his son, this has been something that's been kind of clawing at him slowly but surely. You know, this guy. We're gonna name him Zappy Boy, huh? Anyway, but yeah, what's up to the rest of you chat, folks? It is very somber. Like, there's just, well, okay. We obviously got the flashback. This is what is it? Saurfang the Younger's first death, right after the Wrath Gate. I'm gonna turn the sound down a little bit. I mean, on top of his son, he's weighing. Everything is weighing on him between the death of his son, the atrocities that he was a part of, the things that he did himself, as well as the things that he was a part of, and even on top of that, there's considering the actions that he took towards the end of the War of Thorns campaign when he allows Malfurion to live. Like, what does that what does that do? Do you think the Alliance will get a similar cinematic, or at least something to make me feel excited? I'm not sure, Martin. It could be there could be a lot going on. But this is obviously the eve before the battle, and it makes me wonder about the events that happened before this right here, because we can see that Brill's toast, because Brill is behind the Alliance lines, so. That's done and over with. Somehow the Alliance were able to muster up the forces, not just to assemble an army here and get them shipped over, but then to also build like those giant trebuchet sort of things. You think Blizzard released the cinematic because of the Horde outcry? No, I totally disagree. This cinematic was not made in a day. This is something that Blizzard very intentionally intended to release at some point. The question might be when. But I don't think that's, at least at the moment, in this initial reaction, it's not really heavy on me, you know? Let's go. It's quiet. It's disturbingly quiet, because don't Forsaken, correct me if I'm wrong, don't Forsaken not sleep? So I would figure that there would constantly be some sort of presence, or there might be, for all we know, there might be Forsaken rogues or rogues period that are just trying to harass the front lines or something like that. But then that's one of those cinematic clashes with gameplay. But yes, I'll point out Zappy Boy. That's really cool. Woo! And all that. So, but yeah, as far as I know, like, doesn't Zappy Boy only appear in like this little screen in this little shot of the cinematic and like here and like that's it, right? So, I guess that's why I'm not very excited about him. Like, oh my god.
Lord Saurfang.
You guys think they're preparing plague?
How many do you think?
Too many.
If anything, why is a young buck like that wandering around on his own anyway? Shouldn't he have like a commander? Isn't there a hierarchy? Or is it just everyone listens to a faction leader and like that's it?
There is no honor in this. They will come for us now.
There was no. I'm gonna need the. I would need the readings to get a better grasp of all the context of what's going on, because this whole cinematic is very much a Saurfang perspective, like more than anything else. So we don't quite know what's going on in Sylvanas' head. In this case,
All of them!
so Saurfang's at least feeling the weight of like, this is the price that he's paying for either participating in this war, in the War of Thorns campaign, or maybe the mistake that he made with letting Malfurion live. Because if he lived, I guess the question to ask is, we know Sylvanas is cruel and she's a jackass and all that stuff, but the question to ask is, if Sylvanas' plan went through like all the way, they took they took Darnassus hostage, they killed Malfurion, and somehow, some way, they were in fact able to suppress and otherwise keep the Night Elves down and sad. Maybe her plan could have gotten through. I mean, we're well past that. That's not going to happen. But I'm wondering if part of the guilt from Saurfang isn't just, hey, this is a dishonorable war. This is wrong. Blah blah blah. But should I have trusted my leader as well? So it's like, that's where the torment, I think, is coming from, because no matter what Saurfang wanted to, decided to do, he did make a choice with what he did with Malfurion. There was no winning that was going to come out of it. He might feel a little bit better knowing that he spared Malfurion and preserved his honor, but now look at the situation he's in. Now it's like, I don't know. What's up, John? I'm literally the only content creator I've ever seen that can get this many viewers on YouTube gaming during this time slot. I'm not even looking at the thing right now. Anyway, hi everyone. Doing a reaction, questioning Saurfang, the usual thing. By the way, for those of you who don't know me very well, I'm kind of a pro horde sort of person. So if you catch me trying to understand Sylvanas' side as well as Saurfang's side, and you get mad, then I succeeded. So let's do this. Poor Brill, though. Swear.
My father, Hikazi. He fought with you in the Third War. He told me stories. How you could cut down 10 enemies with a single blow. This be my first battle.
So, like, at this moment, he's already...
What should I do?
He's already undressing, ready to either suicide his way in, or surrender.
Of course.
Or
but
what?
If I do fall, may it be with honor, in glorious color.
Oh, well,
There will
scared.
be no glory today.
it's not unusual for him to draw a parallel between his regrets and flashbacking it to his son. But why is it going back to his son? It hasn't been that long. It's only been a number of years, so the pain there is still obviously fresh. The reasons for him being for Dranosh dying has nothing to do with anything that the Horde or Sylvanas has done. This is, they were doing their duty. They went to the Wrath Gates. He died honorably in battle. Well, he got his ass whooped by the Lich King, but details. He died his own way, the orc-ish way. I don't know about survivor's guilt. I think it's definitely it's a bit more simplistic than that. I think it's simply the pain of a father having to bury his son. That's not something that I personally can capture.
Your warrior's death, my son.
But at the time he was clearly saddened by it, and yet
I am denied.
And we'll get to this in just a bit. Well, yeah, this is before though Felfleg, so we're seeing this, and then we're gonna see it again, and then it happens to him again. So he tosses it. And if you guys want to, and if you guys feel like chiming in with your own perspective or your own interpretation, because right now we're discussing interpretations, and unless I get the facts wrong, totally cool with having any old crazy interpretation or theory that you have about this. But it's to me, this is kind of like him saying goodbye to his son. Just chucking this thing into the fire, ready, taking off the armor, ready to say goodbye. All the actions that Saurfang has taken up to this and past this point is him acting on his own, and meanwhile, Zappy Boy's just kind of follow him like he got food in his pocket and be like, Papa, Papa, trying to tug on his leg and all that. You say that's after he became a Death Knight? It's a little hard to say. I mean, it probably is. After he became a Death Knight, it just looks a little off because I'm not seeing the Serenite flooring, the skulls everywhere, and all that. Let me take a quick. You're saying it's after? Let me look at this. He looks kind of Death Knighty. He's cold. That might be a thing.
You have earned your warrior's death, my son.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Logically, duh, you're right. It is after that, because otherwise, why didn't he take this thing before? Anyway, let's move on.
What are you doing?
Claiming what is mine.
Claiming what is mine. Island Anduin. A bowl. I'm taking it back.
Whatever. What's taken back? Honor, dignity, a bowl. But it is cool to see him getting the white face paint. It's weird though. Like he wants to gain something back, and yet we see him walking alone towards the front lines. So what is he getting back? Honor's a weird thing, and for those of you who watch my videos, clearly I'm disconnected from the tenets of it. So I'll freely admit that, and I'm willing to accept what you folks tell me. But I don't see a whole lot of honor with just throwing your life away like that. Anyway. Okay, we've seen the warrior's death part. Let me...
Yet once again, I am denied it.
Sorry about that. I skipped that part. Yes, you are right. Sucks to not have been there, Poppy. But still, though, I don't see a lot of merit. I don't see a lot of merit coming out here by yourself. It's pretty much like how Broxigar felt back in that book, whichever book it was.
Go back.
And they're still like the only ones out there at the moment. Jeez.
I said go back. Live another day. Go back to your father.
I can't. He's dead. The Horde. It's all we have.
So, you know me. Is that it? What I've seen? What I've done?
He raised his voice.
Oh, give up, boy.
Like you?
Referee. Wake up, guys. We're coming out of the cave.
Live another day.
So why was that all that it took to turn Saurfang around like one more time? Like this is that one more this is one more chance. Maybe because he's so cute. Maybe this reminded Saurfang of his son, but I don't know. At the moment it feels slightly uncharacteristic. Help me out there. Or it just seems like it seems a little bit too easy in this case. But I guess the parallel just comes with that necklace.
Without armor?
Why'd he have to make himself a target? Immediately, I'm right here! Fucking shoot me right here! So, rate the cinematic. Rate the cinematic. Rate the cinematic. An easy 8. An easy 8. So, yeah. So far I'm gonna go with an 8. So breaking this down, there are little nuances here, but it is fairly. Oh man, that's a badass shot. Oh man, I gotta say that looks good. Yeah, he was saying the last thing that Saurfang says towards the end of it is like, live. The word was live another day, and Saurfang's like, oh, without honor, you dumb fuck, boom, and. And all that. So one of my guildmates was saying that I'm even more mad about this cinematic than the Sylvanas one. But clearly we're seeing a conflicted character who's seen some shit. And this is how he responded. If anything, we can kind of make some semi-direct comparisons between Saurfang and Sylvanas. And I'm going to talk about life, I suppose. How Saurfang values life. He sees his dead kid. He was raised as a freaking Death Knight. It really sucks. He wants to honor his memory. He's grateful that he died his warrior's death and all that. And then in this final scene right here, this kid manages to remind Saurfang that life is in fact valuable. By contrast, Sylvanas doesn't value life at all. If anything, she sees no value in life. It's a unique perspective that you and I, you and I, folks at home and wherever, we can't understand because we're not undead. we haven't died, or at least most of us probably. So Sylvanas doesn't she has no empathy for life. There's no sanctity in it because she's dead, and yet she's still walking around doing stuff, walking, talking, and maybe not going to the bathroom or sleeping, but she's still around. She's not stuck in the Shadowlands and doing her thing. But that removes her ability to really have empathy for life at all, because it's like, if you're dead, no, you're not dead. I can just raise you back up, ta-da, and we can keep fighting the good fight. I think that's part of the core of where you see her huge indifference to like everything, and how she seems so hateful and resentful of stuff. It's because to her it doesn't matter. That's how it seems. Her quotes at the beginning of the BFA cinematic make a lot more sense after all that has happened, says Ash Austin, saying, "We have forgotten what makes us strong." Feel free to elaborate. Chat's going kind of fast, so it's going a little bit fast. What are some highlights? What are some quick highlights of mine here? One is the tree. Damn. Let me make sure that this is showing up right, because I want to make this sucker bigger. That tree. Oh man. Telling you, them super demolishers are like amazing. How did they do it? How did those that looks really far. Even in that cinematic, it looks so far. I'll get over it. Demolishers have crazy ass range, but still, goddamn, dude, it's that's pretty crazy. You have to read all of chat, so we will wait. It's a lot of chat, guys. Come on, give me a break. I don't even see a scroll thing because it's going nuts right now. They're probably as right. I mean, they could have been, but man, if that was the case, they should have just chucked that stuff. They should have chucked it from Felwood. If anything, that would have given them probably just as good of a distance. What other cool highlights? Oh, let me get to this.
There is no honor.
Hold up. How much of a smile is she wearing on her face? She looks pleased. She's like, yeah, I freaking did that. So am I taking Saurfang's side? I'm just analyzing stuff right now. So whatever it sounds like I'm doing, it's still me reacting. I still don't have like super complete complete thoughts yet. You're calling for Saurfang and Dagard to make a neutral faction. The old dudes have to be there for us to join. Speaking a little bit seriously though, from this I don't quite see there being like a third faction necessarily. It wouldn't surprise me at this point to see what is unfortunately kind of a repeat of the conflict between Vol'jin and Garrosh. The exception here though is ideological differences rather than outright aggression, because remember, one of the big things that Vol'jin has against Garrosh is that Garrosh tried to kill him. That's like a bad thing. Saurfang may go through the same thing where Sylvanas is like, fuck it. Hey, Dark Rangers, can you do something? Assassinate them, do a little bit of that stuff. She's got Dark Rangers. She's perfectly capable of attempting that. As to whether or not she succeeds, who knows? But she's certainly capable of it. But she hasn't. But up to this point, because the events are going so fast, she hasn't done it yet. But do you think that she will? I don't know, because Sylvanas has made. She calculated some. I don't think she's dumb. But she is obviously ruthless and cruel and all that. And in hindsight, I think she acknowledges that she's probably making a mistake with burning the tree down. But I don't think she's necessarily dumb to the point where she will also, just like Garrosh tried to do, try to assassinate Saurfang. That would easily bite her back in the face. She would. I mean, it's bad enough when Garrosh tried to assassinate Vol'jin, who was a well-liked leader among the Horde. It's another thing if Sylvanas is, tried to assassinate Saurfang, failed, and then riled up all the orcs. That would be not a good idea for her. So I think as we go through this, there might be if Saurfang isn't already plotting some sort of revolution or anything, I think Sylvanas might make strides to get Saurfang back in his good graces, something like that. So she might kiss his butt, concede, see things reasonably, or otherwise Sylvanas might, over the course of this war, Sylvanas might reflect on her own actions and the things that she's doing and be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, maybe I am doing the wrong thing. This might have been a terrible thing that I did. But we're definitely only seeing like one half of this. We got to see what else is going to happen as we get into the battle for Azeroth, and very importantly, we see this Horde cinematic. Or I'm sorry, we see this Saurfang cinematic, and I was hoping for something like this in the Warbringers, with the Warbringer shorts. I was like, oh man, it's only the ladies. That's a bummer. It's cool, but I was looking forward to seeing other characters, such as most notably Saurfang, because there's so much stuff that happens with him. The other thing that I'm waiting for is I'm waiting to see if there are going to be, in fact, more surprise cinematics. If there are, I'd be kind of pissed, because I'd be like, great, now I got to do another emergency video at like 10 o'clock in the evening over here where I'm at. That would kind of piss me off.
There is no honor in this. They will come for us now. All of them.
And he's right. She fucked up. I don't think it was the right call. I could see why she made this decision, because she wanted to get away with something. But at the same time, even though Saurfang's pissed, we don't see the exchange after this, and I haven't seen the book, but Sylvanas could have easily said, motherfucker, I wouldn't have had to do this if we had followed through with the original plan. Wow. And from simply the perspective of a commander, she's right. He should have just dutifully followed orders. That way, if things still went south, he can totally blame her for it, despite him being complicit with it. Do I have a sound card for my mic? No, I don't. Is my sound not coming out right? I feel bad. But let me try to glance at a number of things in chat. I thought there was any way to win him back over. Sylvanas made him relive his memories of murdering the Draenei. That's true. He was a part of that back in those days. But then I think what that kid was referring to was back during the Third War. The Third War. He said the Third War, right?
My father, Hikazi. He fought with you in the Third War.
The Third War. So where exactly did Saurfang fight then? So Saurfang was in the Third War. That was after they went over to Kalimdor. So Saurfang took part in the events that like the founding of the Horde, even before that, during the actual Third War, versus like the demons and all that stuff.
He told me stories. How you could cut down 10 enemies with a single blow.
The Third War.
this be my first battle. What should I do?
Anyway, annoying ass kid. At first I thought that Saurfang was gonna like scoff at it, but I was mistaken. I was like, okay, why is he so butthurt about talking about the Third War? Those were demons. That's like the good part. So that was him being fine. Yeah. Some for some folks that are asking, was this made all of a sudden? Hell no. You don't make something like this in a week or so, despite whatever backlash that people have been giving. Just planning and storyboarding this itself probably took weeks and weeks and weeks before they even started some of this stuff. I'm actually quite surprised that there hasn't been a hint of any of this stuff yet. So I think it's a really cool surprise. If I put up an edited version of the reaction, can I put a burning bob in the flaming? I'm probably not going to do an edited reaction for this. I'll do like a very abridged reaction during tomorrow's weekly because I still need to shoot the weekly. But as for my reactions here and my little bits of analysis, this is it. This is what you're going to get. This is what the public, unfortunately, will see. What mic am I using? I'm using a Yeti Black. Just so you know. But let's see what other chat stuff. Any questions or anything? The cinematic was released for the Chinese for China Joy. Okay, this isn't a reaction to the previous cinematic reception. Yeah. I mean, despite that, this is obviously something that everyone was going to see eventually. It's just a matter of when was this going to be deployed, and none of it was going to make. And this cinematic obviously wouldn't make sense coming out early, because then it would have easily let everyone know, yes, Sylvanas is the one that burned the tree. Now we're obviously seeing the consequences of it. I'm still a little bit troubled by Saurfang just going out and deciding, fuck it, I'm just gonna go out there and what? Let's pretend. What would happen if Saurfang was like, okay, cool, he marches all the way out there with nothing but a torch and an axe and no other armor? Would he get shot down immediately? Would that be the warrior's death that he longed for? What would the tales say? What would that kid say? Yeah, I saw Saurfang go out there by himself, only with his axe, and he got shot down with the quickness. Or he took down like hella dudes. And like, cool, that's great. But if you wanted to, I don't know. I think I'm just thinking like, if he wanted to go down in a blaze of glory and take a whole bunch of dudes with him, then he should fight with his army and also use his skills as a seasoned commander and his rank as High Overlord to, I don't know, win a fight or die losing. Yeah, I would have. I think it would have been a little bit more characteristic of him as an orc if he died in an actual battle, not quite literally throwing himself away. I get that, Rune Saga. I get that he's tired. He's done some stuff. He's going to pay for his sins and all that. But he's still going out there with an axe, so he's not unarmed. He's prepared to fight. It's almost like he's trying to take the cheap way out. He's just trying to not be not really participate, and that's kind of him giving up. I think I get the perspective. I get the dual perspective here that it might be no. He wants to die his warrior's death and yada yada yada, but I wonder if he's so conflicted at this point. Is he sort of lying to himself? Is he trying to make himself feel better, saying, "Yeah, this is a warrior's death"? What if his son was out there? What if that actually was his son, and he was like, "Dude, Dad, what are you doing?" "I'm gonna take it back." He's like, "What? What do you take what back, dude?" I'm right here. Don't you want to like fight and possibly win, and all? So, it's sad. It's just sad. Remember vanilla days when giant Saurfang like wiped out Rays and he was like bugged out and invincible and all that, and nothing can stop him, and there were memes for this guy and people worshiped the living crap out of him. I was one of them. I still am one of them because I think he's a cool character who, like Garrosh, lived began in the earliest days of Warcraft. So to see someone live and possibly say goodbye to sometime in this expansion is a little bit sad, because he seems broken at this point. Him going back isn't helping him at all. It feels like it's just prolonging his torment. Death by combat is the only requirement for Warrior's Death. Don't need a high kill death ratio. Just don't need to win. It seems like a waste though. For someone who does, I guess it's too much to say that Saurfang honors life. He just values honor more than anything else, which is hard for me to swallow, because the death is an actual death is the end of accomplishment. It's the end of being able to help out or help your people. You can't do anything dead. Eric Johnson thinks that he's going to be the new Horde war chief. He can be. I don't see it though. I can definitely see him as usual being like the orc racial leader, but I am not quite convinced that this person, as he isn't gonna is gonna pull it off. Let me say it more clearly. As he is right now, I wouldn't want him for my war chief. He's too conflicted. There's too much baggage that he's holding on to, and his sense of honor, in my opinion, I think it clouds him. I think it clouds his ability to lead others. So at least I don't think that he would be all that effective. I would take Bane over Saurfang right now. Just Bane. Far down the line, I would take Lorthamar, but he doesn't seem to care. He just wants to be like, hey, I'm just part of the club. That's cool. Whatever. But what are you guys predicting? Magatha Grim Totem for War Chief, Lothmar for War Chief, command from Soulbro. Yeah, John. He is definitely the orc racial leader, and I think that's still an important position. I said earlier in other videos that Saurfang is in a powerful political position that he is throwing away, that he doesn't really need. Am I overcomplicating? Oh, absolutely. That's the whole point of the analysis, Crab. Come on. This is for fun. I don't, whatever happens. But I think it's just fun to talk about. But what else are you saying? He's looking to reclaim what he feels like is a warrior death, his honor. That doesn't have to make sense to anybody but him. And again, that's why I think that it's not a good idea to have him as a war chief, because not everyone's going to understand that. Obviously, Sylvanas doesn't quite understand that. People can get behind him. He's like, oh man, he's honorable, dude. He is cool. But that also makes him like kind of unreliable too. It's like right? It's like, hey, Saurfang, help me out with this and this. It's like, no, this is not honorable. I'm not going to participate in this. It's like, dude, come on. This is killing me. He's suicidal. He won't see things clearly. Reasoning with someone who's suicidal is difficult for that reason. Rune Saga says that he's going to be revitalized later with the coming of the Maghar clans and some good words from Eitrig and Bane, I will bet. I wonder if or when Saurfang makes his return to the Horde, I have a feeling at least according to what we've seen and have not seen in Battle for Azeroth so far, he's going to come back, in a patch or so, and he's going to interact with these new Mag'har orcs. And I think he's going to be feeling it with them. He's like, oh, I'm feeling it with these cats. These guys are cool. They're young. They're hip. They're with it. So for all I know, Saurfang might try to groom Thralla. Okay, her name's not Thralla. Gaera, the leader of the Mag'har orcs. He might try to groom her to become the leader of the orcs, which would be it would be kind of weird. But this is just one idea that's kind of gone in my head. If she is as headstrong and proud and all that as some of us would hope that she is, she might have a future, and Saurfang might be her Eitrig, because Eitrig's been around a while. He was helping folks out. I think this expansion is going to go through a total division by continents for the factions and reinvent so much of the world, like Cataclysm, or end the factions with Bane being the leader. That'd be interesting. Mark Hurst says that Varrock will sacrifice himself and take out Sylvanas, and Thrall will come back and rally the Horde, at least temporarily. Where is that guy? any Chris Metzen sightings at some point? I like Thralla more than Gaera, but that's almost like borderline offensive. So I think those cover like most of like the super highlights. It's just a sad cinematic where we see this broken down orc guy almost about to throw his life away when this semi-image of his son reminds him that, hey, you know what? Tomorrow's another day, dude. Let's, just get over it. That's what it kind of seemed to me.
Is that it?
Yeah. This kid. The way this kid acts, yeah, I would not want him for war. If this kid becomes war chief, then the Horde deserve to get crushed at this point. I ain't gonna let someone like this run the show. But yeah, it seems pretty clear who this troll kid is. Beer and Netflix will kill one another tomorrow. So any closing thoughts? Do I have any closing thoughts? It's a sad video with a sad orc who's just looking for an end to like the fighting that he's done. That's really it. It's just sad. And I think that's it. Let's see, how long have I been streaming already? Almost an hour. Jesus. So anyway, I think I'm through with this bit of analysis. Shucks, I've been at this for a while. How are Horde players feeling now? Fine, to be honest. As a Horde fan or a Horde cuck or whatever, it's like sports. The team's not looking so good right now, but I'm gonna keep cheering for them because they're the local team. That's the kind of fan that I am. I'm not gonna jump ship just because they're not doing so great or the management sucks or whatever. If anything, this kind of tells me, yep, most definitely, at least until we see another cinematic, that the Horde are the far more interesting faction with the more interesting characters because they have drama going on and they go through some stuff. And the Alliance, not so much. They're not being portrayed in that light. Not yet. But we'll have to see. We were surprised. We were very... Okay, I was very pleasantly surprised that they brought out the cinematic period. I'm like, oh, this is freaking sweet. My hopes are that they do another one for that is based on a very Alliance heavy character. Like if they brought in, I think Greymane would be kind of cool. to get into that guy's head, because we haven't seen a cinematic version of Greymane, at least not when he's like in his puppy form. We haven't seen him in his human form. But I would like to see a little bit more perspective coming from that side, the motivations for war and what they want to do. But this is something that I've been hoping for and waiting for too. Something about Saurfang, because there's just a lot going on in his head. And I'm very excited to see what happens next. What's unfortunate though is that apart from the events that go on next week and the first part of the Battle for Azeroth expansion, as in like the starting experience, we're not going to see shit from Saurfang. At least not that I know of. If there's something in the beta that I missed, then I totally missed it. But I think that's it that we're going to see from Saurfang for a while, unfortunately, which is kind of a bummer. Let me cover like the last bits of questions real quick. So before you go, if the Alliance got one, who would you want it to be? Yeah, I was saying that it was for Greymane. Not too fond. I wouldn't be too fond of it being with Anduin, but it would have been cool to see a cinematic of what happens in Arathi with the slaughter of most of the Desolate Council. Haven't played the game since Warlords. What good servers are to play on for the Horde? Ooh, that's going to be a tough question to answer. I don't really have an answer for that one because of the way servers work these days. Just pick one and hope for the best. Well, that's like terrible advice too. Maybe the chat here can help fill you in with that. Dragon Girl has never lost any belief in the Horde. The issue is that most people make snap reactions and don't stop to take in the whole picture. Yeah, I mean, we're not learning anything super new from the cinematic. Again, it's just more clarifications as to what happens kind of at the end of War of Thorns, that event, as well as what's going on in Saurfang's head. Because we've been... If anyone has been keeping up with the story, the ongoing releases from build to build, from the beta builds, the leaked information, the data mine stuff, it's super fragmented. So we got to keep things in context and remember that we're looking at things in order. The Battle for Lordaeron is next week for people who pre-ordered, by the way. So if you haven't already, pre-order so that you can play it, and we'll go over that stuff together. Otherwise, you got to wait till day one of the expansion, and then from there we're going to see. Players are going to discover Saurfang. They want him to come back. He doesn't want to come back, and then that's it. From there, we start seeing the events of the war campaign and all those things unfold. So just try to keep it in perspective as to all the things that are happening in order, so that way we can get like a good solid perspective, see what's going on. Do I think Rathian will come back in this expansion? I don't know. Like, Rathian seems to be a character that Blizzard just kind of puts on the shelf, and they just kind of look at it, and it looks kind of pretty. In an earlier stream today, actually, I was hanging out with Zach, the Nerds Templar, if he's still here, and he had pointed out that someone on Reddit, so we're not taking credit for this, they saw a Black Talon agent person hanging out just outside of Blackwing Descent. So I went over, and here's the curious thing. I went over and I saw a human person, and they were a Black Talon, whatever it was called. When Zach saw it, he saw an orc. Both females, both standing in the same spot. We weren't in the exact same phase, unfortunately, so I don't know if that's a factor, but it's just kind of curious that I saw a human, he saw an orc. That was kind of weird. Hi, nerds. Or hi, Zach. Tony you think Thrall's gonna come and save the Horde? Tony? That's a very inside joke. I think only you and I and maybe one other person know about that. Soul, do I think there's going to be a third faction possible, undead faction? No, I don't. I don't see a scenario. I don't see a healthy scenario where Blizzard will split players up, not just in half, but into a third. I mean, the queue times alone would be like devastating. I see more than anything, I see them eliminating factions altogether, and not exactly allowing orcs to hang out in Stormwind, and stuff like that. But I do see an instance where the champions of Azeroth will be able to come together freely. Meanwhile, the Horn and the Lions can blow each other the hell up until their faces turn blue and all that. That's kind of how I feel about it. But that's a very complicated answer that requires so much elaboration and all that. That's I'm not going to be able to cover it here. And there is another new door. Yes, that's right. There's another new door on the on that platform that leads into Blackwing Descent. So that tells me that there's going to be like some sort of back door into either Blackwing Descent or that vanilla raid. You know what I'm talking about. Oh wait, no, it's not Blackwing Descent. You know what I'm talking about. That vanilla raid. There's probably a back door into that. That might have something to do with the scenario, or it might be some crazy thing. I mean, we see that. There's Uther's Tomb. There's just a ton of stuff that we still have yet to discover. And we're just going to have to wait a couple weeks until this stuff activates or comes in. Let's see. I don't want to hear anything about Radin's Factor. Nice. Alliance and Horde lose the battle for Azeroth. That's the end that I would like to see. I guess I'll end it off with what I think what will happen in the end. Okay, this is not what I think will happen in the end, but this is what I hope will happen in the end. I'm hoping that when the time comes, the battle for Azeroth has the defenders of Azeroth, their backs are going to be to the wall, and behind that wall is the world soul of Azeroth, literally, and in front of them is the enemy. I don't know if the enemy is going to be. It could be agents of the void, of the light, of Sylvanas. It could be Sylvanas. It could be it could be the void version of Ilaria. It could be Turallion, who's totally flipped out and thinks that he can just light forge the planet and save everyone. It could be a number of things, but I want to hope that the whole idea of the battle for Azeroth is this is it. If we lose here, there is no retreat. There is no turning back. There is no second chance. If we lose this fight, the enemy wins because the world soul is back there and it's all over. So that's kind of my hope. I'm really hoping that they really ramp up the urgency, not because there's like this universal big bad or anything, but just that the threat is right at the door. And I think that'd be kind of cool. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because this is going to be a very uninteresting reaction video because I'm talking about so many other things at the same time. So yeah, that's going to be a wrap for me. And I want to thank everyone who had joined me for this thing. I know it was kind of long. It was last minute. It was very unorganized, but oh well. But I want to thank you all for joining me this evening or this morning, depending on where you're coming from. And I'm going to start preparing for tomorrow's weekly, where I'm going to kind of sort of talk about this stuff among so many other things and the drama and so on and so forth. So if you don't already, please follow this channel or subscribe to this channel so I can give you more of this and all things Warcraft. So I will see all of you tomorrow for the weekly. And until then, stay safe, stay happy, and as always, stay breezy. Bye bye.